The Nazca Lines are a group of geoglyphs made in the soil of the Nazca Desert in southern Peru. They were created between 500 BCE and 500 CE by people making depressions or shallow incisions in the desert floor, removing pebbles and leaving differently colored dirt exposed. There are two major phases of the Nazca Lines: Paracas phase, from 400 to 200 BCE, and Nazca phase, from 200 BCE to 500 CE. In the years leading up to 2020, between 80 and 100 new figures have been found with the use of drones, and archaeologists believe that there are more to be found. Most lines run straight across the landscape, but there are also figurative designs of animals and plants. The combined length of all the lines is more than 1,300 kilometers, and the group covers an area of about 50 square kilometers. The lines are typically 10 to 15 centimeters deep. They were made by removing the top layer of reddish-brown iron oxide-coated pebbles to reveal a yellow-gray subsoil. The width of the lines varies considerably, but more than half are slightly more than 33 centimeters wide. In some places they may be only 30 centimeters wide, and in others reach 1.8 m wide. Some of the Nazca Lines form shapes that are best seen from the air, although they are also visible from the surrounding foothills and other high places. The shapes are usually made from one continuous line. The largest ones are about 370 m long. Because of its isolation and the dry, windless, stable climate of the plateau, the lines have mostly been preserved naturally. Extremely rare changes in weather may temporarily alter the general designs. As of 2012, the lines are said to have been deteriorating because of an influx of squatters inhabiting the lands. The figures vary in complexity. Hundreds are simple lines and geometric shapes, more than 70 are zoomorphic designs, including a hummingbird, spider, fish, condor, heron, monkey, lizard, dog, cat, and a human. Other shapes include trees and flowers. Scholars differ in interpreting the purpose of the designs, but in general, they ascribe religious significance to them. They were designated in 1994 as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The high, arid plateau stretches more than 80 kilometers between the towns of Nazca and Palpa on the Pampas de Jumana, approximately 400 kilometers south of Lima. The main PE-1S Panamericana Sur runs parallel to it. The main concentration of designs is in a 10 by 4 kilometers rectangle, south of the hamlet of San Miguel de la Pasquena. In this area, the most notable geoglyphs are visible. The first published mention of the Nazca Lines was by Pedro Cieza de Leon in his book of 1553, and he described them as trail markers. In 1569, Luis Monzon reported having seen ancient ruins in Peru, including the remains of roads. Although the lines were partially visible from nearby hills, the first to report them in the 20th century were Peruvian military and civilian pilots. In 1927, Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Zesp spotted them while he was hiking through the foothills. He discussed them at a conference in Lima in 1939. Paul Kosak, an American historian from Long Island University in New York, is credited as the first scholar to study the Nazca Lines in depth. While in Peru in 1940–41 to study ancient irrigation systems, he flew over the lines and realized that one was in the shape of a bird. Another chance observation helped him see how lines converged on the horizon at the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. He began to study how the lines might have been created, as well as to try to determine their purpose. He was joined by archaeologist Richard P. Schettel from the United States, and Maria Reich, a German mathematician and archaeologist from Lima, to try to determine the purpose of the Nazca Lines. They proposed that the figures were designed as astronomical markers on the horizon to show where the sun and other celestial bodies rose on significant dates. Archaeologists, historians, and mathematicians have all tried to determine the purpose of the lines. One hypothesis is that the Nazca people created them to be seen by deities in the sky.